Ciao, buongiorno, grazie per averci seguito. Lascia un like e subscribe. Link è descrizione for pagina Facebook, pagina Instagram, pagina Twitter. Thank you so much for joining us to the Inter Worldwide podcast, where it's an extra special edition this week, ragazzi. If you are watching on YouTube, hello, wave back, don't be shy. Forza Inter Worldwide and our merchandise link in the description as well. If you are joining us on SoundCloud and on iTunes, put your headphones in, relax, as I leave you with the soothing sounds of the realest Rivas. Christian, what's going on, brother?
Happy to be home. Happy to be back on the show. Enjoying my night.
You are the man, and there is someone else who is the man, and it is Mario Galliano Dini. How you doing, man? You holding it down?
Of course, holding on the fort like always.
All right, that's great. We got a really good show lined up for you guys today because we are really nearing the crunch business end. I'm quietly optimistic that ragazzi are holding their own, so to speak, in a league that is just so inconsistent. Guys, just before we move into the podcast, if you haven't checked it out yet, interworldwide.net is featuring a series of exclusive articles this week on the run-in of our opponents. So join myself and Bruno as we tackle the run-in for AC Milan, Roma, Lazio, Atalanta, and Torino going up against us in the run home. It's going to be big. So to start off today, I'll throw it out to Christian. Christian, did you happen to tune in to the Roma result that finished 1-1? First of all, what did you make of the match, the players, and what do you think of the result going forward to the end of the season? Would you say it as a point gained or 2 points lost, Christian?
Honestly, I would say it's a point gained. You know, Roma's still kind of behind us. Milan, nobody advanced, except for Atalanta, of course. You know, they're not tied in fourth with Milan. Honestly, the way we started out, we came out hot. We should have really won that game. If you're going to base the game off the first 15 minutes before El Shaarawy hit that banger, which was freaking ridiculous, bro. It was sick. You can't hate on it. It was just a world-class finish.
Yeah.
After that, you know, the boys kind of fell back on their heels. I guess they put their heads down for a little bit, but they slowly clawed their way back into the game. You know, Toro had some really good chances and, you know, just some great goalkeeping from Roma and defending. Kept it at 1-0, and then we finally broke our nut and got tied 1-1.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of the league standings now, Christian, as you said, we maintain that little cushion, 5 points on Milan, 5 points now on Atalanta. Do you see us progressing pretty easily from here and going on to win at least a couple of our fixtures, man? We'll touch on it a bit more later on. Just wanted to know your initial prediction before we start.
Honestly, I still think we finish in third place, at the worst fourth. You know, even Napoli's screwing up now. You know, Atalanta balled out against them, but you know, it's still viable. I still think we make the champions. I still think it's going to be Juve, Napoli, Inter, Milan in that order.
Yeah.
I think Roma sits out, Atalanta goes into Europa, and Lazio goes into Europa as well. I think Roma is going to be the one that sits out of Europe.
Yeah, the decline of Lazio in the last fortnight is crazy. And after we speak to Mario, we'll touch on the rivals a little bit more. Mario, in terms of the Roma fixture, 1-1 goals to El Shaarawy and Ivan Perisic. What did you make of the game as a whole? And what about you, brother? 1 point gained or 2 points dropped?
I think it was a 1 point game. Roma's still a decent team, and of course El Shaarawy scored a banger. This is literally the only way you can score on Handanovic at this point in time. It has to be a banger or an absolute mistake. I didn't think that there was anything that like stood out this game because I was kind of like in and out of it. But it wasn't like an alarming performance. I don't think. Like, sure, we weren't scoring the chances we should have. Lautaro missed a couple, like half chances, crosses and stuff like that. Vecino missed a freaking open goal, and I was like, this just is Vecino for you. Other than that, it was just a weird kind of game because we were dominating, then we just let up all of a sudden. Then we were dominating for the rest of the game, and then, of course, Dzeko was just, when he had the chance, he was just killing us, and it almost hurt us, but it wasn't alarming, I'd say. Going forward, I think we make the Champions League. I don't say easy, but I think we have an easier time now that we have like teams dropping points, and we're just getting points at this point, and it's fine.
Yeah, it is fine. Talking about the players in the Roma fixture that stood out, we had the player ratings brought to you by the ladder in the speakers just then. Mario, who gave Kwadwo Asamoah 7.5, the man of the match, stated up and down the left-hand side of the game, all game, and then showing off a piece of skill. I thought Asamoah, I would agree with you, Mario. I thought Asamoah was really, really competent against Roma, but as you said, it's kind of one or two competent performances out of 4 or 5. We touched on this a couple of weeks ago when we chatted. In terms of Asamoah, do you see him starting in a fullback role next season, Mario, or do you think he becomes makeshift off the bench?
I feel like at the beginning of the season he's going to be starting. Where we go from there, it just depends on if he gets injured or if we buy a left back that's just more consistent than he is, because he's shown flashes of what he can do, and when he's really good, like he was this weekend, it's really important for the team. I hope he can continue playing like this, but I think it comes down to the personnel we have. Who we have in the midfield, who he's playing with on the left side, because him and Perisic have been together for most of the season, but it hasn't really worked out. And then when we saw Delbert with Perisic a couple times, it looked better, but Delbert, of course, just isn't reliable.
No.
Unfortunately. But I really hope Asamoah can keep that starting spot in obviously in a perfect world, but for me, I want to see him in the midfield more often than not. But it is what it is, and if we can fill that spot and he moves into the midfield, I feel like we can get more out of him.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of disappointing performers, I think we'll all agree that Raja Nainggolan had a very, very poor match. We were very optimistic, thinking that he was at about the 90% fitness level, but he just looked lost in that match. He looked confused. He made no impact in the game whatsoever. So we're hoping for a much better performance this week by Raja Nainggolan, who is expected to start, which brings us to this week. I'm going to start with Christian. Christian, this is the way I see it, bro. You listening? You listening, Christian? Oh, good. Bro, we've got a huge chance here, man. If I gave you the option at the start of the season, we can knock Juventus in our home park 4 match days early and seal Champions League qualification. The more I think about it, the more I become pessimistic about the result, because I'm just not used to that kind of happiness. You know what I mean?
So I personally think we'll beat them, but I don't think it's going to secure champions for us.
Mathematically, because think about it, psychologically, if we beat them and even 1 or 2 other sides in the top 6 drop points, it goes from a hard task to a catastrophically monumental task for the rest of the teams to catch us.
I agree, but I mean, it's us. We're gonna beat them, and then we're gonna lose it with a Nezzy. I'm sorry.
Pretty much.
It's just the way Inter is. Pazza Inter for a reason. We're going to come in. I think we're going to beat Juve maybe 2-1, 1-0. We're going to take the game to them like we usually do. But I think that in the long run, we're probably going to seal it towards the second or third last match days when you're going to see us seal the Champions League spot. Again, it helps us that everybody else is inconsistent. I want to touch on this a little bit later when we talk about the run-in more.
Yeah.
Juve only got the league title because everybody else was so inconsistent.
Right?
Sit there
Exactly.
And you look at the table and you look at Napoli, Inter, Milan, Roma, and Lazio. Teams, I would expect us more to be closer to 70 points right now and not be sitting at 61. It's not like Juve was so good this year. It was more of we were all so bad. Like, not even bad. We were all so inconsistent. Napoli's at 67, 20 points off. We're at 61. What's that, like 16 points off? You look at Milan, 56. Atalanta, same thing. If you really think about it, what was the saying? 40 points and you're safe in Serie A? You don't get relegated?
Pretty much.
So you're telling me that we're only 21 points ahead and we're in the Champions League spot? That to me kind of it just says that this year everybody was inconsistent.
Yeah, I would agree. And I'm sorry to cut you off, and Mario, Christian, jump in after this, but I tuned in a lot more to Juventus fixtures this season than I usually do. I mean, up until this season, I can't even bear to watch 5 minutes of them. But this season, because of the Ronaldo factor, I was very, very curious to see how tactically they would implement him in. And I got to say, I truly believe they had 3 or 4 good games all season. They scraped through so many Serie A results by the skin of their teeth. The way Allegri set that team up, with the depth that they had, was pretty crap, to be honest, man. Would you boys agree?
It's garbage.
If you look at this Juve this year, going back to the whole thing about watching them, I watched a fair amount of games this season, just to see how Princess was going to do in Serie A, and he didn't do that well. Even though he's got all those goals, 10 of them were penalties. You know what I mean? It's not like Ronaldo's effect was really there. I feel that they've regressed. You look at Allegri's starting lineup, there was at least a change every single week. He didn't have a consistent starting lineup. I don't think this Juve is that good, and it shows in the Champions League. They got knocked out by Ajax at home.
Got blitzed.
Ajax, they're a good team, but for the old lady to sit there and take that L at home made it even better,
Yeah, so good. And then the videos on social media of all the 1 or 2 Juventus fans celebrating in the city center was pretty good as well.
It was weird for me because I was watching a lot of them because they play a lot of the Saturday afternoon games, which is, what I like to wake up for at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
I agree. I like waking up at 9 a.m. to watch those games, the early games.
Yeah, the early games, not so much. I don't really care for.
Dude, I love seeing some of those teams like Bologna and Cagliari.
I was watching Sampdoria all season, and I'm like, this is great. I love watching them. I've been watching a lot of the Empoli games, and Empoli is one of my favorite teams to watch because they can be so good at times, but they're just like stupid, and it's great.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I try to watch as much Calcio as possible, But
I usually
like
don't.
I said this year, back to the topic, Juve wasn't so impressive. Like, you sit there and you hear some of these analysts, and I'm like, why are you sucking them off? They weren't that nice. Like, do you even really watch? Or is it just because they got Ronaldo, all of a sudden they're magistral or they're so amazing? And, Juve locked up the season. Was it Marcotti was the one that said it the other day on ESPN FC? He said it wasn't that this Juve is so good, it's that everybody else was so inconsistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it goes to how they just relied on Ronaldo too much. And Allegri, he was just like, all right, kind of go out there, put Ronaldo as striker. Mandzukic still, was the focal point of the team somehow, the way it's set up. And then you have players like Dybala regressing and not being able to find a spot in the starting lineup because Allegri's tactics were just so like all over the place and inconsistent that the players that should be making a difference couldn't because of Ronaldo, and he has to get the penalties, he has to get the free kicks. I get it, that's fine, whatever. But at the same time, Pjanic looked like shit all year.
Yeah, he did, and screw him as well. He's an absolute grub. Yeah.
So I'm sitting there because I'm like, I don't really care if Juve wins as long as Liverpool loses. I'm happy with the Champions League.
Yeah.
So I was just like, all right, beat Ajax because I feel like Juve would give whoever a run for the money better than Ajax. But Juve had absolutely no fucking idea. They were just like, Ronaldo's not scoring, so now what do we do?
Yeah.
Play Barzagli, 39 years old. Palermo's, pride and joy. But he kind of realizes, like, this isn't for me anymore.
Dude, when you analyze their squad, they're going to need a complete revamp for the first time in a long time. Like, that midfield needs work. And we were saying that midfield needed work at the start of the season. And was it the right decision to sign Ronaldo on freaking $45 million a year wages, $110 million up front, when they can't even fix their midfield? I mean, that midfield of Matuidi, Pjanic, and Chan, or Khedira, whoever he chooses to play, is substantially weaker than... Bentancur is substantially weaker than... Well, it's no matter who he plays, it's substantially weaker than Pogba, Vidal, Marchisio, or whatever midfield they were coasting on under Conte. And, I heard a couple of people speak this week, and despite the physical attributes of Juventus, they've also lost a massive mental edge. And I said this at the start of the season, when you lose someone like Buffon and Chiellini's 34 and Barzagli will only play 3 to 5 competitive games this season and Bonucci is already pretty much hated by his own fans at the club, all of a sudden this foundation of passion and grinta that they built themselves up after coming back from Serie B, a lot of that identity is actually lost now. After this season, you have a 35-year-old Chiellini, no more Buffon, no more Barzagli, and a Bonucci out of favor with the fans. To say Juventus need an entire squad rebuild is a fucking understatement. And good luck with that next year, still playing Ronaldo $45 million a year and Aaron Ramsey €12 million a year. That's a lot of money already for their squad.
Jeez. Oh my God.
Listen.
Like, I don't want to turn it into a Juve bashing podcast, but you know what I mean.
I don't even have to bash on them because they're just fucking stupid.
Exactly.
2011, they're going through the same thing, and it's all about who's up next, who's going to, and that's the problem. And it wasn't Marcotti that said it. It was my boy, what's the name of the commentator on ESPN FC? Damn, I love when he commentates. Marco Bonetti. Bonetti, yeah, dude.
Something like that.
He was the one that said it. He was the one that said that it's actually all the other teams. He was like, all the other teams in Serie A, he was like, they're inconsistent. It's not that Juve was good. It's that everybody else was inconsistent. You know, he was like, nobody wanted to step up. So next year, who's going to step up? Like
Jason Benetti.
Perfect year, yeah.
That's the one.
He's awesome, dude. I love when he commentates games. He's a Milanista, but he keeps it 100, you know. He calls out any team that does bad. He's sister, like, he really knows his scouts, you know.
Yeah, I've been warming up to him because I didn't really listen to him or watch him much before. But, like, this year I've been getting a lot more of him on ESPN Plus and what the fuck's it called, and like Twitter and all that shit, and I'm just following him. I'm like, this guy's freaking actually great. Like, I never realized.
I love him, dude. I followed him on BN Sports. I hated when they put Ray
Sports.
I had it. I hated when they put Ray Hudson and
Ray Hudson's the freaking man.
Nah, bro, he's not a better commentator for City A. Not
what
for
are you even
City
talking
A,
about?
Compared
Ray
to
Hudson
Bonetti,
is greatness.
You're tripping. You're absolutely
but
tripping.
Bonetti doesn't follow me on Twitter. Ray Hudson does.
Ooh. All right, moving on, princesses, moving on.
So back to the conversation real quick.
Yeah.
Next year, does Inter take that spot? It's up to them. Let's
100%.
see what happens in transfer window, because that's the important thing. I don't think Juve wins Serie A next year unless everybody wants to sit there and play inconsistent again.
Dude, I've said this to a few people this week. Juve have never been more there for the taking than they are right now. So it truly is up to the rest of the league what they want to do. But at the moment, they could even walk the league next season by sheer default if the rest of the league, like Milan, Roma, Napoli, Inter don't kick their asses into gear. In terms of the rest of this campaign, we need to focus on the run-in because I want to spend a little bit of time on each opponent. Once again, I'll say thank you to the feedback for those who have tuned into our articles the last couple of days on the run-in and the opponents. We are recording this podcast a few hours after the Napoli-Atalanta result. Now, I don't know about you boys and everybody watching, but I thought that I went to bed last night saying if Atalanta can get 3 points in Naples tomorrow, they become front runner in my head to take that fourth position. They are ridiculously focused. They are so strong-minded when they're together on the pitch. Going 1-0 down in Naples is huge. To come back and win that 2-1 this morning and go equal on points with Milan was nothing short of fantastic. So we're going to speak a little bit now about our Nerazzurri rivals, Atalanta Bergamo. And I'll start with you, Mario. Your overall thoughts on Atalanta. Their remaining fixtures are as followed. Keep an ear out. Udinese at home. Lazio away. Genoa home. Juventus away. Sassuolo away. So with those fixtures in mind and equal points with Milan, Mario, what are your thoughts and predictions on Atalanta Bergamo?
What's that? 5 games right there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5 games, 2 home, 3 away.
I think they get 7 points.
7 points. Christian, interrupt him for a second. Udinese home, Lazio away, Genoa home, Juventus away, Sassuolo away. Let me just double check that last one. What do you reckon, Christian?
I got no saying. Can you do it on a cold, rainy night in Bergamo? That stadium's a fortress, bro.
Oh,
like,
shit.
All Lombardi cousins.
That last game is at home. That last game is at home as well against Sassuolo. Sorry to interrupt you. It's not away. It's at home. So they got 3 home games, 1 away.
I still think Milan goes through though. Honestly, I would love to see Atalanta in the Champions League.
They just don't have it.
Of the '90s when you used to see not just the Inters and the Milans and the Juves in the Champions League. You'd see a team like Parma in there. Dude, it would be great for Serie A. In my honest opinion, I know everyone says it would be awesome to see Milan back in there, which I agree with. But for Serie A as a league to have a team like Atalanta, bro, or Torino, you can't count Torino out, even though I don't see them making it. But to see a team that's not one of the usual giants back in the Champions League making some noise, that would be fucking awesome.
It would be reminiscent of Udinese, what was it, 2012-13 or 11-12, where they finished 3rd in the league and frickin' played in the group stages of the Champions League?
Yes. And like I said, Atalanta has been so consistently good the last few years. They kind of remind me of old school Parma in the 90s. You remember when Parma used to be awesome?
Yeah.
Man, that's what Atalanta.
When they had Buffon and Crespo?
Yeah, when Crespo and all them dudes were over there too. They had a squad. They won the Europa League.
They did.
You know?
They did.
Like, how awesome would it be to see Atalanta go into the Champions League and make it to the second round?
That would be awesome. Or even like come 3rd in their group and take the Europa League by the horns and get to the semis there as well.
Yeah, because
after being bankrupt.
When they made Europa a couple of years ago and they took it serious and they went pretty far. They got knocked out against Lesbig from Germany, I believe it was.
Yeah.
But they made a nice little run. It's good to see the other teams take Europe serious. I feel like most of these teams they don't play for Europe. They play to stay alive in Serie A. And it's good to see Atalanta trying to get into the Champions League. Like, it's just an awesome feeling to know that these other small teams aren't looking at Inter, Juve, and Milan as, they're a step higher. No, they want to be on that same pedestal. I just think it
is pretty dope. So we are going to go to our next opponent, which is our cross-city rivals, Milan. Forgive me for looking off camera, anyone who's watching. I'm just writing all this down so we can get an accurate depiction of where we think the boys are going to end up at the end of the season. So Mario says 7 points for Atalanta. Me personally, I say 3 at Udinese, 1 to Lazio, 3 to Genoa, 1 to Juventus, and 3 to Sassuolo. So I say 11. 11 points to Atalanta. What about you, Christian?
Do you got them in 4th or 5th?
I got him in. Oh shit! To get that answer, we're gonna have to do Milan next in order to get the accurate answer before this. So
point wise, I'm gonna go with 9. I'd love to see them in the Champions League, but I really think they're only gonna get 9 out of the next few games.
All right, cool. So Mario 7, Anthony 11, Christian 9. All right, cool. Milan. Now, I'll speak a little bit about Milan to start us off. Me personally, I don't want to see them anywhere near the goddamn Champions League. And I'll tell you exactly why. Screw all this bullshit about putting Milan back on the map. Screw all this bullshit about getting both Milan clubs in the Champions League. I'll tell you exactly what happens if Milan makes the Champions League. All those Tom, Dick and Harry players in Europe that want to go to another club are going to go to AC Milan. They've got the name, the stature, and the history. I don't want them anywhere near the Champions League for at least 1 or 2 years until we get our asses into gear. We've got a leg up on them at the moment. You'd have to be the stupid, most closed-minded Milanisti, so about 90% of their fan base, to think that they've got the leg up on us. We need to come third, and I want them to finish out. So, I don't know the way you boys think about that, but 5 fixtures remaining, and the first one is fucking juicy, ragazzi. Torino away. Now, Torino away, Christian, you might say Atalanta's the most pragmatic place to go to. I reckon Torino away is the hardest fixture for some teams to go to. Mazzarri is quite pragmatic, man, and the fact that he's been able to grind Torino this close, he is going to fight tooth, nail, and dirty until the end of the season. I know what Mazzarri's like. You know what Mazzarri's like. So
he's not a bad coach. He's a good.
He is a good coach.
He just wasn't good at Inter.
When he was with us, it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault, just to say that. You know, I don't think it was his fault. He didn't get the proper players. But back to the topic, you know, I get it. Torino's one of those hard stadiums. I don't think it's tougher than Bergamo, but I would say, like, it's a small point right under it. Like, Bergamo's 99.9, Torino's 99.8. You know what I mean? Like, it's right there. Honestly, like I said, I've picked Milan to finish in 4th, dude. Do I want them there? No. But realistically speaking, it's theirs to lose. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of feel fucking FIGC is going to do what they got to do to make sure Milan gets in there. That's one of the reasons why I was saying that I would really love to see Atalanta in the Champions League. But I just feel that, you know, the FIGC is going to do what they got to do to get Milan back there because they want their top clubs to flourish again, you know?
They're the moneymaker.
They're the money makers. They're the ones that bring all the prestige to City A. You know, the Juve's, Inters, and the Milans are what makes City A City A. Yeah, I don't care what anyone says. To me, Roma is a small club. They're a mid-table club. I don't consider them a giant. You know, wow. Napoli's still a baby growing. They're not a giant. And Lazio, same thing. They're about a mid-table club, just slightly under the Giants. I don't care what anybody says. That's my point of view on Roma.
No, completely respect that. Go on, Mario.
We forget that 10 years ago, Napoli wasn't even in Serie A. They were in Serie B. So
that's why I said they're babies.
Exactly. So, like, to just track back a little bit before we change the subject, I would rather see Milan in the Champions League because we don't know what Atalanta is going to do next season. For all we know, they're
going to sell half their team.
Exactly. They're going to pull in Udinese circa 2011. You know, they're going to sell all their big name players to teams that are like, oh, this guy is good. We can get him for 20 million because he plays for Atalanta and he wants to play in the Premier League. And does Atalanta want to sell him? No, but the player wants to force a move. There you go. Problem solved. They get him on the low. And then Atalanta's scrambling next year to you know, put a team together in Champions League. And they're gonna lose to freaking Bate Borisov in the qualifications or in the group stage. They're gonna get like half a point, you know. So that's what scares me with those smaller teams making the Champions League, that they're not really established, where they're just like, let's make the money back that we can, and then fuck it, we made the Champions League money, we made the player money, we can survive for another 15 years.
Look, that's all well and good. In that situation for us, that's fine. 50 million will coop up Ilicic and Zapata, no problem.
They're not going to come to us though. They're going to go abroad.
How do you know they wouldn't want to come to us?
Because I
Atalanta wouldn't sell them to us.
Yeah, it's not even that they won't sell them to us. You're going to see a team like Arsenal or Chelsea or Man U or even a freaking club like Leicester or what's the other one? Freaking Wolfham or something like that.
Watford gets all these.
Watford. No, that's not the one I'm talking about. The Wolves.
Southampton.
Wolverhampton.
Wolverhampton,
I don't know about them.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm saying you're going to see one of those type of clubs that'll come in and be like, Inter's offering you 25, we'll offer you 35. We got the money.
You're right. The relative strength of the Premier League is second to none.
That's where they want to go. That's where Paris wants to go. That's where, that's where people want to go to make their money and make a name for themselves if they get the chance.
Yeah, because you go to England, man, you could be on the bench, but you're going to make a lot more money than you're going to make in Serie A.
Yep.
That's it, man.
That's just what it is.
All right, let's not get too sidetracked. We got to stay on focus with this run-in because I want an accurate depiction at the end. So, start off with you, Christian. Milan, Torino away, Bologna at home, Fiorentina away, Frosinone home, Spal away. Now, it's no question asked, they've got the easiest fixture list out of anyone fighting tooth and nail. That's probably why you're going to say they'll go through. So, altogether, Torino away, Bologna home, Fiorentina away, Frosinone home, Spal away. How many points do you think they get?
10 points.
I'm going with 10 as well. Mario?
I'm gonna go with 8 or 9.
8 or 9. We'll go with 9.
Okay, because
Mathematically, 9 will
Bologna
probably
they're not gonna beat. I know.
They're not going to beat Bologna at the San Siro.
They're not gonna beat Bologna. Bologna has lost one of the last 10 games.
Not just that, Bologna is fighting for survival.
They started it off against us. They started it against us as well. Mihailovic came in, did us 1-0, and since then they've earned something like 32 points.
So I'm gonna rule that one out as a I would give that a tie at most. Torino at home.
No, Torino is in Turin. In Turin.
Yeah, Torino away. I'm sorry. Let's start from the beginning. Lazio at home.
No. That's the Coppa Italia, man. So we're just talking Serie A. So Torino away.
Torino away. I think they lose.
Okay.
Bologna away at home. I think they tie. So
that's 1.
What's that? 3, 6, 9, and then Fiorentina they tie, and that's 8. Yeah. Okay, I'm going 8.
We're going 8. And Christian's going 10, and I'm going 10. But I'm being optimistic for them. I'm trying to work out like the worst possible scenario for us. Yeah, I always do. For me personally, I think they drop points at Torino. They also drop points at Fiorentina away as well.
I think they get a draw on Fiorentina, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. Fiorentina's weird like that. They might pull some shit out of their ass.
Yeah.
You can't rule out Chiesa right now.
No, not really. Can we move on to Roma?
Yeah. No.
All right, cool. Roma, they wouldn't have the toughest fixture list either, but, they're weird. Since Ranieri's come in, they've kind of just kind of gone back to basics, and they're just trying to grind out very basic results to the end of the season, and credit to them. It's worked so far. They grounded out 2-1-0 results and got the draw against us, because remember, boys, they were dead and buried 2.5 weeks ago, man. So before we go on to Lazio, who was in the complete reverse 2.5 weeks ago, we'll go with Roma. Now, just checking the table before we start, Roma are currently 6 points behind us on 55. In order, Christian, Cagliari at home, Genoa away, Juventus in Rome at home, Sassuolo away, Parma at home. One more time. Cagliari at home, Genoa away, Juventus at home, Sassuolo away, Parma at home.
I'm stuck between 6 or 9 points, to be honest. I want to say 6 points, but I feel that those bastards are going to get 9. I want to say 6, though.
Yeah, I'm going with 8. I reckon they get the win at Cagliari at home, the win at Genoa away, but I think they draw to both Juventus and Sassuolo, and then get the win at Parma. So I'll go 9. I'll go 9.
Sorry?
Cagliari's and Roma.
Roma, yeah.
No, it's at Roma.
And Genoa away. So they're going to take that out in Genoa.
All right, cool.
So I'm going with 6.
You're going with 6. I'm going with 9. Once again, optimistic for them, pessimistic for us.
I go 10.
10? Where are they getting 10 from?
Cagliari home, they win.
Yeah.
Sassuolo away, they win.
Shit. Okay.
Parma home, they win.
That's 9. Genoa away, they get a point. Okay, cool. So we got 10, 9, 6. All good.
Well, where do you get the extra point?
Oh, I'm sorry. So what did I say? Wrong.
No, he's right. Cagliari at home is 3. Sassuolo away, Sassuolo away is 6. Parma at home is 9. Genoa away is 10. And the L to Juventus.
You said draw to Genoa. Okay.
Yeah, draw. 10.
All right, cool. Moving on to the cross-city Roman rivals in Lazio. Now, fuck, let's talk about them for a second because 2.5 weeks ago, they beat us 1-0 at the San Siro. Now, I remember what the table looked like after that result because that morning I was packing shit more than any other morning of the season. They actually got within 2 points of Milan with a game in hand, boys. And then they went and got dicked 1-0 by Spal, 2-2 against Sassuolo. Yeah, they got the cheap win against Udinese, but then we all saw the catastrophe against Chievo. They're 1 win in 5. They're 8th on the ladder. And they have the most significant gap because they are now on an equal playing field and they are officially 3 points out of the top 4 and 8 points behind us. So, Mario, we'll start with you this time. Lazio in order. Sampdoria away. Atalanta at home. Cagliari away. Bologna at home. Torino away.
I had a number in my head.
I'll go one more time.
No, okay, you're okay, go again.
Cool. Sampdoria away. Atalanta at home. Cagliari away. Bologna at home. Torino away. I've got 7, and that's being freaking generous.
You're giving them 7 points.
7 points, and that's being...
Giving them 7 points.
Dude, we are Inter, bro. We need to give everyone everything.
Nice. I'm thinking that they may get them 3.
I'm going 2 or 3.
They probably will get 2 or 3. I'm just saying. I'm being overly optimistic. I reckon they can get a point in Sampdoria, a point at home to Atalanta, a point away to Cagliari. Guys, think about it. That's still 3. Think about it. Listen. Hear me out. That's still their next 3 straight fixtures without a win. It's not unrealistic to think they get 3 points in 3 games.
I think they win the Cagliari, bro.
That's a tough schedule.
Yeah, I don't think they win either.
Win.
I don't think they win either. I'm saying 1 point each at Sampdoria, Atalanta, Cagliari.
Draw.
Probably not.
I don't even, dude. I'm looking at 3 points at the max, bro.
Yeah.
I don't see them beating Torino. I don't see them beating Atalanta. I don't see them drawing Atalanta. I don't see them drawing Torino.
I hope so, man. I hope they're out of the running this weekend. I hope we can forget about them completely.
Bro, honestly, I don't even think they make Europa looking at that list.
Yeah.
Well, you never know. Could be right. I've literally, it's a tough list. I've literally just gone for them to get a point at all their fixtures and beat Bologna. So as I said, it's just me being very, very generous.
Yeah, no, bro. Honestly, I'm surprised if they make more than 4 points.
All right, so we'll go Christian with 4, me with 7, looking like an idiot.
If you don't 3.
3. Guys, this is really good shit. Comment below who you guys think, anybody tuning in on SoundCloud, iTunes, or YouTube, because we want to hear it from you. You might not all be as pessimistic as me, and you might be as confident as Mario and Christian that Lazio are basically out of the running in the next 2 games. And you know what? They're probably a lot more realistic than I am, because we haven't touched upon this yet. There is a Coppa Italia semi-final second leg, smack bang in the middle between match day 34 and match day 35. So not only do they have...
The only way to sneak into Europe is by winning Coppa Italia.
The Coppa Italia gets a Europa League place, correct?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, you know what? That would not surprise me.
That might be the only way to sneak in. They might concentrate and go balls deep on it.
All right, so we got 7 from me, sounding like an idiot. Christian at 3, and Mario, what do you say?
I say 2.
Game, set, match for Lazio. It's curtains, brother.
I really don't. They're not convincing me at any point this year.
All right, sweet. All right, and last but definitely not least, and big ups to them, because I'm not a huge Mazzarri fan. I've just got bad memories of his attitude at Inter. But you know, we change coaches like we change underwear, so I don't think you can actually pin any of our problems on specific managers over the last few years. Torino definitely have the toughest fixture list out of any of the opponents, and they've done really well to stick with the top 6 for now. But we could see them out of the race as early as, you know, this weekend. They have to go, they host Milan in Torino. Then they go across town away to Juventus. Then they host Sassuolo at home. Empoli away. Lazio at home. I'll say it one more time and we're starting with you, Christian. Torino, 5 games. Milan at home. Juventus away. Sassuolo at home. Empoli away, Lazio at home.
I'm going 9 points.
Wow, 9. I was going 6. What the hell is going on here, bro?
You know why?
Why? You think they get 3 points this weekend against Milan?
I see them smacking Milan.
Oh, that would be great.
I see them taking an L to Juve in the derbyD'italia. They're going to take that out. I see them beating Lazio.
Yep.
That's 6.
6. Sassuolo home, Empoli away.
You haven't even
see them
touched
being-
Sassuolo and Empoli yet.
That's what I was going to say. I see them beating Sassuolo, and I see them drawing Empoli.
10 points. 10 points. I'm gonna go with a draw to Milan. I think Gattuso's gonna grind out a point. I want you to be right, Christian. I want to be wrong there. I think they lose to Juve because even if Juve's wrapped up the league, Torino doesn't seem to ever be able to do them over. Sassuolo at home, I'll give them 3. Empoli away, I'll give them 3. And Lazio at home, I'll give them 1. So I'll change from 6 to 8.
Yeah, you're 8 right there, buddy.
I'm
You're
8.
2 points off of me.
2 points. Mario, what about you? Do you need the fixtures again or you got it?
I got it. I can't remember if I gave them a win or a draw against Milan.
Win or a draw against Milan?
I can't remember what I gave them for the previous one, but I can see them coming out with 9 or 10 points out of this, depending on. Or no, I'm sorry. What did I say? 9 or 10? I meant 9 or 12.
9 or 12. So we'll go with 10. That's in the middle, unless you can give it to me properly.
I think I wanted Torino Milan to tie, so I'm gonna go with 10.
Interesting stuff. So at the moment,
Sounds so crazy now, do I?
no, not so crazy at all. Not so crazy at all. Christian, so talk us through, lastly, before I start doing a little bit of the maths here, I'll throw it out to you. Our last 5 fixtures of the season. We are coming up against, obviously, Juventus at home this week. Then we travel to Udinese. Then we are back at home against cellar dwellers Chievo Verona, who are already relegated. Then we travel away to Napoli before hosting Empoli on the last day of the season. Where do you see Inter ending up in terms of points, please, Christian?
I'm stuck between 10 or 12. So I see us taking that W against Juve. I see us beating Chievo. I see us beating... Who is the other one between Chievo and Juve?
Udinese.
Udinese. I see us beating them. That's 9. I see us losing to Napoli.
Losing to Napoli.
But the Empoli game, it depends where Empoli's at. If they're fighting for survival on the last match day, they're gonna either win or draw us for safety. If they're not fighting for anything, I see us beating them. But if they're fighting for survival still, I see us drawing or maybe losing.
Yeah, fair enough. What about you?
Those last day fixtures against those fighting teams, they're going for it, and I don't want to see anybody get hurt before the season's end,
Yeah, fair enough. How many points do you think we get at the end of the season, Mario, considering the fixtures that we have?
Juve, I think we tie, so that's 1. Udinese, I can see us win, 4. Chievo, 7. Napoli, 8. Empoli, 9. 9 points.
9 points till the end of the season.
I don't think we lose.
I don't think we lose either, to be honest. In terms of players who are going to come back this weekend against Juventus, have you guys heard anything about Marcelo Brozovic's fitness? Is he ready to start this week, do you think?
Latest I heard was he was making a comeback, that he was going to be fit for Juve. That was his goal. If it's actually going to happen, who knows?
Yeah. What about you, Mario?
I doubt it. I don't know. I haven't really followed him in a situation right now, but I'm just going to put a big doubt on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that this weekend, I really think that we need to see Marcelo Brozovic back in action because we just see how depleted we are in midfield without him. Borja Valero. Actually, I wanted to ask you guys first, what did you guys think of Borja Valero against Roma? Because you know what? He actually didn't play that bad. We saw him gas out early as usual, but Christian, in terms of technicality, Borja Valero still got that distributive technical touch, man.
He's not a bad player, but I would rather have Brozovic. Honestly, I think I think Nainggolan didn't do that well because he didn't have Brozovic. Him and Brozovic have actually worked out pretty well together. And, honestly, seeing Nainggolan on the field, Raja was asking for the ball. He kept trying to get the ball in certain positions, but Borja's timing wasn't as, quick. He wasn't as quick to get him the ball. So as soon as he'd get the ball, you'd have 2 or 3 Roma players swarming on him. And, I hate to say this because Borja's such a good player, but he's not a great player. He's a good player. He's good enough. But the Roma players didn't really respect him. They weren't crashing on him the way they'd crash on Nainggolan. They would let him dribble up and distribute. But the way they looked at it, we need to stop Raja. We know how this guy plays. If Brozovic was there, they would respect him to the point where they would take a man or two away from Raja and stick him on Brozo.
Yeah.
So you got to remember, it's all sheer tactics. If Brozo's there, I think Raja's turned on and he's having a better game. Without Brozo, we're going to see another bad performance because I don't think no other player in that midfield can equate to what Brozovic does. I pray we get Brozovic back.
Me too. All right, guys, this has been one hell of a chat. So we're going to finish off with a little bit of statistical preview here. So, according to Mario, Inter at the end of the season will finish 3rd and it will be Milan in 4th on 64 points. I'm sorry. We need to start again. Mario has actually predicted that with the 10 points that they acquire, it will be Roma who finishes 4th on 65 points, Milan on 64, Atalanta on 63, Lazio on 54, and Torino on 63 as well. Sorry, I skipped Torino in there. So Mario says Inter, Roma, Milan, Atalanta, Torino, Lazio. The realist Inter's total for Mario was 9 points, so he puts us up to 70. A good game ahead of the rest.
Yeah, that's still a trash point to finish in 3rd.
It sounds about right, to be honest.
I wasn't expecting that.
That's so bad to finish at 70 points.
Yeah.
And still make the Champions League. I'm sorry. Go next.
Next, Rivas's predictions are a little bit different. How many points did you say we'd get again, Christian?
I'm going to say we're going to get 12.
12? All right, cool. So you've got us sitting at
10. Give me
10, even better. 71 points to us. You've got Atalanta 4th on 67, Milan 5th on 66, Torino on 63, Roma on 61, Lazio on 52. Remember, you gave Lazio 6 points in their run-in. Roma. You gave Roma 6 points on your run-in. That's why they've stooped below compared to Mario.
No, that sounds about right.
Cool.
Why the hell did I give Roma so many points?
You gave Roma 10 points, dude. You gave Roma 10 points.
I know.
You're retarded,
I'm just.
dog.
Oh my! What?
And in terms of
Oh, shitty. That's why.
in terms of my predictions, I give us 10 points as well to finish on 71. Atalanta 67. Milan 66, Roma 64, Lazio 55. So virtually, almost identical. We've almost got the identical points numbers. The standings.
Where do you put Torino, though? You didn't say where you put Torino.
Oh, shit, I didn't even do Torino, did I? Let me do it quickly. Torino, 53 points. And I need to see their fixtures again. I forget how many I gave them. Oh, I gave them 8. I gave them 8. So Torino 53 plus 8 ends up to 61. They finish in between Roma and Lazio. So you'd have Torino occupying position 7 where they are right now.
Not bad.
Look, long story short, boys, it's going to be tight. There could be a couple of results this weekend that give us much clearer clarification of how it's going to go. or there could be a couple of results this weekend that keep us so in the dark that it almost sets us back a week, and we know for a fact we're not going to find out until match day 37, 38. But at least we've got that sort of excitement till the end of the season. Would you both agree?
Yeah, man. As much as I keep saying that I think Milan's finishing in fourth, dude, I would love for my table to finish that way.
Yeah.
Love to see Atalanta in the Champions League, dude.
It'd be something special. It really would be. Guys, conscious of time, we've gone for 50 minutes so far. I do need to take a couple of questions. Otherwise, it's just slack, basically. So I've got Daniel, one of our boys from Melbourne in Australia, pretty much reiterating what we've been saying this whole podcast. What do you think about Gasparini's well-oiled system at Atalanta? If they make the Champions League, do they sell off their star players? We answered your question already, man. So tune back into the rest of the podcast. Mario, just quickly in another sentence again, you think Atalanta sells off their stars if they make the Champions League?
I hope that they don't, but I feel like they'll sell at least one or two of their important players. Plus, you have an aging Papu Gomez, so I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
This is the GOAT. I don't care.
He really is.
he's a great player.
I don't think they sell everybody. Maybe one. Maybe Zapata leaves, you know. But
Yeah.
even if they do sell him, I feel like they're gonna replace him like it's nothing. They're so good at doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And one more question. We are just going to go with Edgar from Egypt, keeping the Egyptian crew strong here. We always get some questions from there. You guys don't usually talk about the relegation battle. Do you see anybody surprising dropping down? Look, the Flying Donkeys were already relegated 2 weeks ago. Frosinone will need an absolute miracle to stay up. So it's got to be down to Empoli, Udinese, and Genoa and Bologna. Bologna's in form. They're not going to go down. Udinese, I think, scraped through, and it is Empoli. Christian, Empoli or Udinese? Who goes down?
Dude, like I told you on my preview for us, you know, it depends where we're at when we get to that last game. If Empoli is fighting for that spot, I see them staying alive.
Yeah.
You know, Udinese, it's so hard for me to see a City out season without them. Like the last few years they've been there. Fuck.
It's a hard one. It is, man. Once again, just like the top four race, we'll get more clarification on this issue literally in the next 2 weeks.
Hey, can you pull up Empoli's schedule real quick?
Sure. Let's just see how we go here. Empoli schedule is
Done. They're done for.
Oh, they got Bologna away, Fiorentina at home, Sampdoria away, Torino at home, Inter at home.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
they're done. All right, Udinese
I don't
goes
like that.
through.
It looks like Empoli will be going down, but you never know. If it still comes down to the last day of the season, I don't want to be playing them with something to play for. That's for damn sure. Guys, conscious of time, thank you so much for tuning into the Inter Worldwide podcast. Grazie mille. We are so thankful. We appreciate all the positive comments, all the positive support, and I guarantee you we'll be just as happy come the end of the season if we can reach our season's goals. To the realest crew that ever crewed, Christian Rivas, thank you, brother.
Hey, Anthony, I got a quick question. Maybe we could do an episode where I guess everybody's listening to this now where they all send questions and me, you, and Mario just answer it. Let's spend like a legit episode of us answering nothing but questions. I think that would be something dope so we get a lot more involvement with the listeners.
Yeah, sounds good to me. I'll definitely write that down. We'll get that done soon. And Mario Galliano Dini, thanks for holding it down, bro.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang. He's a prophet.
All right, boys, thanks a lot once again. And from all of us here at Inter Worldwide, ciao, grazie, forza Inter.